Cheers, friends.
Hey there.
Welcome to the Horseshoe.
It's not Bally's anymore.
We booked a 2-night stay here at the Horseshoe in their cheapest room, and wow, was it cheap. So we'll go over our stay and everything the Horseshoe has to offer, and then let you know in the end if it was worth it. So here's the thing. Horseshoe Las Vegas might look all shiny and new, but this property has a lot of history and it started big, real big. When it opened in 1973 as the MGM Grand, it was a 26-story hotel with over 2,100 rooms. Back then, it was one of the largest hotels in the world. Fast forward to 1985 and it got rebranded as Bally's. And then, just over a year ago, it transformed again into what we see today, Horseshoe Las Vegas. It's been through some changes, that's for sure, but unfortunately not all the history is glitz and glamour. In 1980, when it was the MGM Grand, there was a devastating fire here. It was one of the deadliest hotel fires in US history. Tragically, 87 people lost their lives. It was a moment that really shook the city and the country. It led to big changes, not just here, but across the entire hotel industry, with new safety standards being developed and implemented across the country. Caesars has tried to evolve this property into something fresh and exciting. It's home to the World Series of Poker and has an unbeatable location right here in the middle of the Strip. Let's see how it's holding up after all the rebrandings and renovations.
Now the Horseshoe is smack dab in the middle of the Strip. So if you want to be in the middle of all the action without having to take out a second mortgage on your home, I think the Horseshoe is the spot. And we'll definitely cover the price of this stay and you won't believe it. But you're right next door to Paris, across the street from Aria, Cosmo, Bellagio, Caesars. It doesn't get much better than this on the Strip. This is the main entrance where you'll be dropped off if you're coming by shuttle, taxi, or rideshare. But this is not where you pick up your rideshares.
The rideshare pickup location is around the corner from the main entrance. If you're already inside the casino, then exit the doors across from the box office desk.
Now if you brought your own car, just follow the signs for the self-service parking garage. Parking is not free unless you're Platinum or higher with Caesars Reward Program. Otherwise, it's $20 a day during the week. Valet is $40 a day plus tip, and the Horseshoe shares its parking garage with Paris, so it actually sits between the two properties, so it is a bit of a walk to the registration desk. Once you come in the main entrance, you'll find the check-in desk right over there. Pretty simple.
Now the check-in process was a bit of a mixed bag. I checked in online through the website in the morning, but never got a notification that my room was ready before the 3 p.m. check-in time. So I headed to the front desk. The Horseshoe was funneling all guests into one line and first directing you to use their self-service kiosks. If you want to work with a person, you got to wait in that line first, and then you could head to the front desk line. For me, the process was pretty straightforward. I had a QR code from my online check-in, and it took about 30 minutes to get through the line, and maybe another 5-10 minutes at the machine to get my room. But not everyone had such a smooth experience. The kiosks are only in English, which seems like a major oversight for an international destination like Las Vegas. I saw several people with pieces of paper trying to figure out what information to enter in, or using their phones to try and translate the information on the screen. And some people just got frustrated and left for the front desk line. It's a shame, really. If Caesars is going to funnel people to these self-service kiosks, they need to be more user-friendly and accessible.
So we've checked into our One King resort room here at the Horseshoe, and first impressions, it's pretty spacious. And looks like with this refurbishment, they've kind of gone with this kind of 60s vibe. You got this brown carpet and these brown chairs and these brown furniture and these little accents of red with the art. So it's got that vintage charm going for it without feeling too outdated. The layout is really easy to navigate. Like I said, there's plenty of space in here. I can move around pretty freely. There's also a large desk if you need to get some work done. And I got these 2 comfy chairs if you need to sit back and relax. It makes kind of a living space to unwind in. Although I did notice something odd with these chairs. There were these straps sticking out from the creases, so I gave them a tug and pulled off the top cushion. Notice I could also take off the bottom cushion, and this is what I saw. Underneath the bottom cushion, there were crumbs from crackers, candy, and who knows what else. Definitely something housekeeping missed. But other than that, the room seems pretty well equipped. You got your standard large television set. You got your full-size mirror for getting ready. And plenty of lights. I was surprised to see a mini fridge in the room. You don't see these in Vegas very often, but it's really not much of a fridge. It acted more like a cooler. Nothing there ever got really cold or frozen. The closet is plenty spacious to carry whatever luggage you brought on your plane. There's also a safe in there, as well as your iron and ironing board. Now the bathroom is also pretty spacious. You get your standard amenities like your shampoo, conditioner, hand soap, and body soap. You have your magnifying mirror, as well as a nice large mirror above the sink for getting ready. And there were plenty of towels. The vanity, though, shows some wear and tear on it. Kind of get the impression that maybe this was not replaced during the refurbishment. The shower is roomy, though you can't do lunges in it. And the water is hot and there's good water pressure with no drainage issues. The bed is kind of firm. There's definitely no pillow top here. It's kind of odd they only gave us 3 pillows for a king-size bed. I didn't find any others in the room. And one nightstand did have this really cool charging station. There's a wireless charger for most modern phones, as well as some outlets and USB ports that make it very convenient. The lamps also have power outlets in there and a USB port, so plenty of power throughout the room. The AC worked fine, things were comfortable, though I don't think it ever got down to the 68 degrees I set it to. Also, the window opens about an inch to get some fresh air into the room, which is nice. There's also some scuff marks on the ceiling and on the doors, so maybe Lionel Richie was staying here before us?
Hey, what's happening here?
Come on up.
Oh, I shouldn't have eaten that upside down cake.
As for the view in our room, we have a nice view of the Paris resort, as well as a few other resorts down the way. And if you press your face against the glass, you can actually see the Bellagio fountain show. So we kind of got a fountain show view upgrade. Speaking of the fountain show, you might not know this, but they use some really powerful water cannons to shoot that water high up into the air, and they are loud. And we can hear them very clearly in this room. And that show goes on late into the night. The Horseshoe is a pet-friendly hotel, which we do like. Although about 2 or 3 a.m. last night, we heard a dog barking out in the hallway and the owner yelling at it. So other than that, and the fountain show, it's been pretty quiet inside the room. Unfortunately, the Wi-Fi here was really bad. We had a lot of problems connecting. Sometimes when we connected, we actually connected to Paris, across the way there. We did go down to the front desk and complain about it, ask them to move us rooms, and they wouldn't do that. They just gave us a phone number for tech support, and you know how things go with tech support. Now, I stayed here to get the experience, and I used my cell phone as a hotspot to do my work. We could never get Gina's laptop to connect to the Wi-Fi here very well, and she has some really important work to do. So she actually went home and just came back in the evenings to explore the resort with me. Now let's go see what the Horseshoe has to offer. The resort layout is pretty simple. It's mainly just one big casino room, and everything kind of branches off from there. Now at the back of the casino, you'll find these escalators that go down to the area they call the mall. I call it the basement. While the rest of the resort got a really nice refurbishment when it changed over to the Horseshoe, I think they forgot about a spot.
Down here is where you'll find some of the attractions, a few shops, the food hall, the monorail station, the gym, and somewhere down here is the pool. I never saw it, but that doesn't really matter because the pool was closed. Pool season in Vegas is typically March through October. The gym, however, is open. It's located towards the back of the mall, so it's a bit of a walk to get to it. Once you get there, it should have everything you need. Some treadmills, weights, a few machines. If you're looking for a spa, the Horseshoe doesn't have one on site, but you can easily access the one at Paris next door. Another perk of the awesome location. And this connection with Paris is even more important when it comes to dining. The Horseshoe has 2 sit-down restaurants, Guy Fieri's Flavor Town and Jack Binion Steakhouse. Besides those, there's the quick service food hall, whereas Paris is mainly sit-down restaurants with very few quick service spots. You can check out our review of Paris for more information on that. A link to that video is in the description below. At the Horseshoe Las Vegas, you pretty much have 2 options for breakfast and your caffeine fix. There's the Nosh Deli and Lavazza. But that just covers what's on the inside of Horseshoe. Right out front, you have the Grand Bazaar shops with even more choices. There's an Ole Red's by Blake Shelton. It's a multi-level country bar with live music and food. Then there's the Wahlburgers, which is a celebrity burger shop by Mark and Donnie Wahlberg. Plus, there's the Istanbul Mediterranean restaurant. This place is super popular, and you'll always see a line here at night.
And that's just to name a few of the spots out here. Now we'll dig into some of our own personal dining experiences.
Ole Red is one of the standout dining and entertainment options at the Horseshoe and on the Strip. This place got a lot going on. It's multiple levels with live music stages, a full bar, and plenty of seating. I headed up the rooftop for some views and food, and was not disappointed. I got a great look at the Bellagio Fountain Show. I ordered the Baja chicken sandwich, and let me tell you, the seasoning on here is legit. It'll help clear your sinuses. But it's balanced out by the slaw and avocado smash. The bacon is thick and super flavorful. The chicken patty itself was a little dry, but all the toppings help balance that out. And the tater tots, they're crispy on the outside, but thick and doughy on the inside. Not really my thing. Both the sandwich and the tots were definitely shareable, which kind of helps justify the $25 price tag. Of course, the highlight is the rooftop seating. It's all patio furniture, but it is comfortable enough, and there's plenty of shade to keep you out of the desert sun. There's also a stage up here for live music in the evenings. And just a heads up, the music here is loud. If you're looking for a place to chat, this isn't the spot. Inside, there was live music on the ground floor, while the rooftop had country music playing over the speakers. The service was quick and friendly, and we didn't have to wait too long for our food or drinks. And it's really easy to get up to the rooftop. They have an elevator, which makes it accessible for everyone. And you can't miss all the construction going on at the front of the Bazaar shops. They're building a new 4-story restaurant and entertainment venue called the Bottled Blonde. This is a chain, so there are other ones in the States. Just like Ole Red, it's advertising to be a multi-level entertainment venue with pizza and beer and a rooftop patio.
Jack Binion's is the Horseshoe's premier dining location, and it's everything you expect from a classic steakhouse.
The restaurant has this elegant, timeless vibe. It's got plush leather booths, dark wooden tables, and then these really neat wine wall displays in the corner.
For dinner, we start with the grilled bacon and chimichurri sauce. This dish is savory, smoky, and shareable with 6 slices of thick-cut pork belly. The chimichurri added a brightness and balanced out the fattiness. It's a great way to kick things off.
For the main course, we shared a Wagyu rib cap, Oscar style. The steak was no exaggeration, melting in your mouth. The crab was really piled high on top, and the sauce was so light, it didn't overpower a single bite.
We paired that with the Parmesan-crusted Brussels sprouts, which were crispy and drizzled with a sweet vinaigrette. Even the asparagus that came with the steak was charred and smoky and had a nice creamy element when combined with the Oscar sauce.
The food was delicious, but the experience was even better. Our server, Kevin, was super friendly, attentive, and went above and beyond to make sure everything we ordered was allergy safe for me.
The meal pacing was perfect. We never felt rushed. And the atmosphere was kind of dark and a little intimate, although, like I said, a little noisy. The lighting and the big band music from the 30s really set the mood.
That being said, privacy really isn't a thing here. The booths are kind of low, and you could look across the entire restaurant. And when it gets a little busy, a little crowded, the people beside you, you become a part of their conversation. But honestly, it is a great place for dinner or to celebrate any special occasion.
The next day for lunch, I went down to the food hall and checked out the wing zone. The food hall really captures that classic food court vibe from the malls back in the day. It's tucked away from the casino floor, so it was never busy and pretty quiet while I was there. I grabbed 8 bone-in wings with garlic parmesan sauce and a fountain drink. Total was $23.73. The wings were meaty and fatty, just the way they should be. The garlic parmesan sauce was creamy, more on the parmesan side with just a bit of tang. But let's be real here. You're paying for the convenience of being on the strip. At $16.95 for 8 wings, it's not exactly a budget option, especially compared to any place you'd go off the strip. But for a quick service option on property, the quality is there.
So the Horseshoe really only has 2 sit-down restaurants, Binion Steakhouse and Guy Fieri's Flavor Town. So we took the walk through the hallway over to the Paris resort of Mon Ami Gabi for dinner.
Mon Ami Gabi is this charming French-inspired bistro, and let me tell you, it was so worth the walk. The vibe is elegant, yet it's very approachable. We actually chose to sit outside, even though it's in the 50s, but they had a lot of heaters, and it was really cozy and warm. And as a bonus, we had an amazing view of the Bellagio fountains.
I ordered their specialty cocktail tonight, which is called the Paper Airplane. It has Buffalo Trace whiskey, along with Aperol, and a little bit of lemon juice. It was an extreme between the sweet Aperol and the bitterness of the whiskey. It balanced out really nicely, and I really enjoyed it.
My cocktail of choice tonight was the Paris Romance. It is a coconut rum, it had some fruit juice in it, and also a little bit of bubbly on the top. It was sweet, it was fruity, a little deadly, because you could actually drink a lot of these and not realize you drank a lot of them.
For dinner, we ordered the roasted chicken a la Grand Mère without the mushrooms. It came with crispy fries and garlic spinach on the side. The chicken was moist and buttery with a crispy skin on it, but without the mushroom sauce, it was missing a bit of flavor. But on the side was onions, garlic, and bacon. When we added that to the bite, it really brought some flavor out.
The fries were super crispy, and it came with a really generous portion. The garlic spinach was garlicky, salty, it was soft, it was flavorful. The chicken was definitely shareable. It was actually half a chicken. Delicious dinner.
For dinner, they really accommodated us, and they made a bananas Foster crepe without the crepe. It was 2 scoops of flavorful vanilla ice cream with a warm bananas Foster sauce on the side. The sauce had a perfect balance of sweet and bitter. It was really delicious.
So the menu obviously is French inspired. It offers a variety of dishes, including a lot of French specialty cocktails. I felt for myself, being gluten-free, I had plenty of options, and the staff and the chefs were super accommodating.
All right, let's talk about shopping, or well, what little bit of it you'll find here at Horseshoe Las Vegas. Honestly, there's not a whole lot of retail therapy, but there are a few spots worth mentioning. Of course, inside the resort, you have your typical convenience stores and souvenir shops. The Grand Bazaar shop's right out front. It's more food counters and bars than actual shopping. But if you're looking for souvenirs, there are a couple places. You got Sunglass Hut, an NFL Raiders store, and the It's Sugar Candy store, which is fun to walk around and see their concoctions. And that's pretty much it when it comes to actual retail options. Now, the real MVP here is CVS. It's right outside the Grand Bazaar shops, and let me tell you, it's a wallet saver. Here's a look inside. They've got a little bit of everything: beverages, snacks, toiletries, even some groceries. And the bottled water, way cheaper than what you'll find inside the casino. And here's another pro tip: there's a legit bank ATM inside the CVS. If you don't want to get hit with these sky-high casino ATM fees, this is where you'll go to grab some cash. Now, if boutique shopping is more your style, you want to head next door to Paris Las Vegas. They've got a few shops with a bit more variety. And for upscale shopping, the Bellagio shops are just a short walk across the street via the Sky Bridge. And you're also pretty close to the Caesar Forum shops and the shops at Crystals, both within walking distance. So if you're in the mood to splurge a little, you're in a good spot. Bottom line, if you're staying at the Horseshoe and need essentials or a quick souvenir, go to CVS. But for serious shopping, you're going to have to take a little walk. Let's talk about what you can do here at the Horseshoe beyond the casino and dining. There's actually quite a bit to keep you entertained, whether you're here for the weekend getaway or just popping in while exploring the Strip. First up, let's talk about the shows. Horseshoe has some pretty unique entertainment options. Potted Potter is a funny Harry Potter parody, perfect if you're a fan of the books or movies. And then there's Paranormal Mind-Reading Magic. I gotta say, it sounds like this one will have you questioning reality. Now if you're more into action, BattleBots is your jam. Live robots fighting right in front of you, just like the TV show. Feels like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. And if you're looking for something a little more, let's say, grown up, X Rocks is a mix of rock music and burlesque. It's your quintessential Vegas experience. For something a little more lighthearted, there's the Twilight Zone by Monster Mini Golf. Glow-in-the-dark mini golf inside the Twilight Zone? Yes, please. A fun way to take a break from the hustle and bustle of the Strip, and a fun way to put down memory lane for those of us who grew up with the show. If you're traveling with kids, Dino Safari is another fun spot. Life-size dinosaurs, interactive exhibits. I'm sure it'll be a hit with the whole family. And don't forget about the arcade, another great spot to unwind and maybe even get a little competitive. I did get the chance to see the Potted Potter show. It's a Harry Potter parody that packs a ton of creativity into a small space, with just 2 actors bringing the entire Wizarding World to life. Yep, just 2 guys on a stage. Now the theater is really intimate. There are only 4 rows of chairs and a small stage, so no matter where you sit, you'll feel like you're part of the action. The stars of the show, Nick and James, are great actors who keep things light and super funny. Their humor is quick, sharp, and honestly, it felt like they were having just as much fun as we were in the audience. That said, this definitely is for Harry Potter fans. If you know the books or the movies, you'll get a real kick out of all the jokes and references. And if you're not so familiar with these series, well, you might be a little lost. Now, let's talk about the price. The tickets run about $60 a person, and I'll be honest, I wasn't sure it's worth it. Don't get me wrong, it's fun, creative, the actors do a fantastic job, but compared to some of the bigger productions on the Strip, like Cirque du Soleil, which has some shows just a little more expensive, the value just doesn't really stack up for me. If you're a diehard Harry Potter fan, it's definitely a unique laugh-out-loud experience that you won't find anywhere else. The Horseshoe has several bars to choose from, but there's no nightclub or any party spots here. And during our stay, we didn't even see a live band. That said, you have Ole Reds right outside, country music every night in a lively atmosphere, plus the Bottle Blonde will be here soon with even more nightlife. But being right in the middle of the Strip means you're just a short walk away from plenty of nightclubs and entertainment venues to keep the party going. Up front is the lobby bar, and this feels like the central hub for the resort. This one is definitely the biggest bar in the place and it has a modern vibe with plenty of seating. It's super convenient if you just want to grab a drink on your way in or out. Now towards the back is the Indigo Lounge. I'll be honest here, it's pretty basic. There's not much in terms of theming, but if you're just looking for a chill drink, it's got you covered. And they do advertise music on select nights, which adds a little extra atmosphere. Now if you're feeling playful, there's the arcade bar. It's right next to the arcade, so it's got that casual fun vibe. Perfect if you're just wrapping up around the games or looking to unwind with a drink. And the standout spot at the Horseshoe for grabbing a drink has to be the Cabinet of Curiosities Lounge. This place isn't just a bar, it's an experience. They've got daily happy hours from 1 to 4 p.m. and a reverse happy hour from 10 p.m. to close with $12 cocktails. Not bad at all for the Strip. The vibe here is really cozy and intimate. It's got this low-key charm that draws you in. I had the chance to chat with John, one of the bartenders there, and let me tell you, he's a real artist when it comes to cocktails. After talking with him, he recommended his signature Italian Old Fashioned, and wow, this is something else, my friends. It starts off spirit forward, then finishes sweet and smooth. If you're into Old Fashions, this one's a must try. I'll tell you, I sat there for over an hour, just casually sipping on this cocktail, enjoying every sip of it. And of course, it's not just about the drinks. This is the Cabinet of Curiosities after all. The whole bar is packed with these little fascinating artifacts and trinkets, each one with its own story. So this is kind of fun. They're all numbered, and you can scan a QR code to open what they call the Catalog of Curiosities. Then you just punch in a number, and you learn about the history or mystery behind each item. All right, friends, let's talk price, because that's what really surprised us. We stayed here 2 nights, Sunday through Tuesday, so not a weekend, and the total room rate was just $24. Yep, about $12 a night. So the resort fee, like most places on the Strip, has gone up. In 2025, it's about $45 a night. So that added an additional $89.90 to our total. I mean, that's nearly 4 times the cost of the room itself. So you know where the hotels really make their money. Throw in $15.24 in taxes, and our grand total came to $129.14 for the stay. For a Center Strip hotel, that's pretty nice. So who is this place good for? I'd say budget-minded travelers who want to be in the heart of the action, but don't need all the bells and whistles. If you're here for the location and the value, you'll likely enjoy it.
Yeah, you're steps from Paris, right across from Bellagio and Caesars, and you've got easy access to a ton of shows, restaurants, and nightlife. It's tough to beat that kind of convenience without spending a fortune.
So the room we stayed in was spacious and comfortable. It did lean retro more than modern. It's nothing fancy, but it had everything we needed for a good stay. The casino floor was easy to navigate, and you could find food, drink, and some entertainment without ever leaving the property, although it could be quite a walk.
Okay, a little truth time. The Wi-Fi here? Ugh. I actually had to leave the resort to get work done. So if you're someone who needs to stay connected, especially for work, just know this might be a challenge.
Yeah, that was a bummer. But outside of that, we had a good experience. Staff was friendly, dining options were decent, and we had fun checking out the attractions and bars.
It's not a luxury resort, but it also doesn't pretend to be. It's clean, it's central, it's affordable. And if you're the kind of traveler who's out and about most of the day and just needs a reliable place to recharge, this might be a great fit.
Exactly. It's not trying to wow you with over-the-top amenities. It's just giving you a solid spot to stay while you enjoy everything Vegas has to offer.
And honestly, sometimes that's all you need.
All right, friends, that wraps up our stay here at the Horseshoe Las Vegas. If you got questions or thoughts about the resort, drop them in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you.
And if you found this video helpful, give it a like and don't forget to subscribe. We've got more Vegas videos on the way.
And we really can't stress enough how much we really appreciate all the friends that we've made here on YouTube and your continued support. So until next time, friends, cheers.